China is ready to send its military forces to Ukraine as part of security guarantees, the German newspaper Welt reported, citing sources. Beijing is ready to send soldiers to Ukraine as part of a peacekeeping mission, the publication said. It is noted that China agrees to participate if the mission is deployed under a UN mandate. China is unlikely to agree to take on real security obligations for Ukraine after the war is over, experts from the South China Morning Post conclude. In their opinion, Beijing will not play a key role in future negotiations on guarantees for Kiev, despite the fact that Moscow is trying to involve it in this process. Analysts say China is resource-constrained and has no intention of setting a precedent that could require it to take similar steps in other regions in the future. Any new agreement must provide mechanisms that will make the guarantees actually work, in order to avoid the inefficiency that was present in the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, the publication notes. Let us recall that the Budapest Memorandum, signed by Ukraine, Belarus and Kazakhstan, envisaged the renunciation of nuclear weapons by these countries in exchange for security guarantees from nuclear powers. However, the document did not work. Russia, which was among the signatories, itself violated it by unleashing a war against Ukraine. China then formally supported the treaty only with a political statement, but did not join it legally. Beijing's 1994 statement stated that the country would not use or threaten to use nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states or in nuclear weapon-free zones. However, China did not provide any specific security guarantees to Ukraine at that time. The United States believes that Europe should take the lead in providing security guarantees for Ukraine, CNN reported. At the same time, Washington does not rule out that American pilots could take part in patrolling Ukrainian airspace. NATO says it will strengthen the Ukrainian armed forces even after the end of the second military operation. In turn, Russia opposes any security guarantees that would pose a threat to Moscow. What guarantees are we talking about and why this issue is so important for Russia? In the material of Gazeta.ru. Moscow offers an alternative in the form of deploying a contingent of independent states that did not participate in the NWO on Ukraine's side. These could be China, India, Belarus, Arab states, and even the same UN Blue Helmets. Earlier, Russia explained why Zelensky rejected all of Trump's peace proposals.
The Russian Defense Ministry stated that Putin's army occupied Pankovka, while Russian military correspondents claim that the Russian armed forces allegedly advanced in the area of Poltavka, Vladimirovka, Shakovoye, Sofiyivka, and Kucherov Yar. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War have announced the situation in the Pokrovsk direction and in the Dobropolye region. Russian war correspondents claimed that Ukrainian forces counterattacked when Russian troops penetrated northeast of Dobropolye, including in the area of Rubizny and near Zolotoy, Kolodets, and Zapovidnoye. Ukrainian military observer Kostiantin Mashovets reported on August the 20th that Ukrainian forces were counter-attacking along the entire perimeter of the breakthrough at Dobropolye. The Ukrainian armed forces were counter-attacking Russian positions at the base of the breakthrough to cut off the bulge along the Nikhanorivka-Mayak line, but Russian forces were still holding several positions along the railway west of Suketsky. Mashovet said that Ukrainian forces had broken through to Mayak and were fighting in that town. Mashovets reported that units of the 51st Self-Propelled Artillery Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces are operating in the breakthrough near Dobropolye, apparently reinforced by reserve units numbering up to 1.5 battalions, but the command will need time to regroup forces and resources before any units can advance north of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. Mashovets said the Russian 41st and 2nd armies were amassing personnel and supplies in the Pokrovsk area in anticipation of future attempts by the 51st Army to break through to the northern outskirts of Pokrovsk and cut land lines of communication to Dobropolye, although that breakthrough was being delayed by Ukrainian counterattacks. Mashovets reported that the 114th and 132nd Motorized Rifle Brigades of the Russian Armed Forces are operating northeast of Pokrovsk between Shakovo and Novoye Shakovo and are advancing in the direction of Kucherov Yar in order to advance towards the remaining Russian assault units in the village, but are unable to break through. At the same time, the 1st Motorized Rifle Battalion and the 39th Motorized Rifle Brigade are attacking Ukrainian positions east of Nikhanorovka and have captured a forest belt north of Zatishko. Units of the 137th Motorized Rifle Brigade and the 72nd Special Forces Battalion are advancing in the direction of Grodovka and Mirnograd and have advanced 1 kilometer in the direction of Promin. Units of the 15th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade are operating in the area of Udachnoi but have not advanced, and the 1437th Motorized Rifle Regiment continues to operate in Zverevo. Russian military bloggers on August the 20th said that the Dobropolye breakthrough remains an unstable section of the front, and neither Ukrainian nor Russian forces are capable of seizing the initiative. One military blogger said that Russian troops are maintaining positions in Zolotoy Kolodets despite Ukrainian counterattacks, and Russian troops are strengthening their positions in Radinsky. Another military correspondent said that Ukrainian troops have allegedly cleared Zolotoy Kolodets and Kucherov Yar, but did not confirm these reports. An intelligence officer with a Ukrainian Special Forces unit operating in the Pokrovsk direction reported on August the 20th that Russian troops are using thermal imaging camouflage devices to protect against drones and are moving electronic warfare systems to forward infantry positions to counter Ukrainian drone activity. The intelligence officer said that Russian troops often try to transport electronic warfare systems to the contact line on motorcycles and scooters because Ukrainian drone activity is making it difficult for Russian troops to reach central observation points.